Marty was with Michigan last week in Miami. He's been with Alabama all week. What have you learned hanging around the master?
Every time I go to Tuscaloosa and have the opportunity to sit across from him, I learn. And you would think eventually you're like, okay, I've heard that before. And Coach Saban does have very distinct message points, as you know. It's creating value for our players.
Sure.
It's our process. If we play to our standard, it doesn't matter who the opponent is, all those things. But invariably, I learned quite a bit. And I actually made the decision this time when I sat across from him, Paul, to discuss legacy. And you know, talking to Coach Saban on the eve, as it were, of another opportunity to win a national championship, that's not his cup of tea. He doesn't want to do it, but he did. And he said, look, ultimately for me, a legacy is how many players want to come back. How many of the young men that you've mentored and coached want to come back because you meant that much to them? And then he mentioned Bear Bryant. I asked him what it was like to stand, you know, in the pantheon of the greatest of all time right beside Coach Bryant, and he said he's still the standard because it was his process that laid the foundation for the rest of us to have this profession. And he still considers Coach Bryant the greatest of all time. And, of course, as we know, if he were to win tonight, he'll pass Coach Bryant in Alabama lore, which is none of us ever dreamed.
I feel like he already has.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a little younger, and so I'm of the mind that Coach Saban's the greatest to ever do it, and I base that on a lot of different things, the era in which he's doing it. And another one of the things that I chatted with him about, Paul, that I don't think he gets enough credit for is all the turnover at the coordinator positions in his program. He's on his 8th offensive coordinator during his tenure at Bama and his 5th defensive coordinator, and all they do is win. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and Marty, I did cover Coach Bryant briefly, and they're totally different. And he won in a more wide open era when you had when Marty Smith declared national championship. You ought to start doing that, by the way.
I should. I made the Eckrich $1 million throw today.
I saw. Listen, I'm sitting right downstairs with Matt Berry. We were on right after you, and I'm thinking, okay, Herb Street, don't show Marty up too much. And there he goes. I mean, I felt bad for her.
It's like my Super Bowl, Paul. I mean, it felt like I won the Super Bowl.
I saw it, and I was proud because people don't give you enough credit for.
I can't wait to see how Stetson Bennett plays as well. To me, I think the quarterbacks are so important in this game, and in talking to our colleagues who are experts on all this, they agree. Alabama's going to try to keep Stetson Bennett in the pocket and make him beat them throwing the football because he's so dangerous with his feet. And, of course, Georgia wants to run the football with Zamir White and James Cook. And I think one thing that they're definitely going to want to do, Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, he's going to want to get Brock Bowers involved very early and very often. And all those swing passes to James Cook that just they dominated Michigan in that game, and that was one reason. Cook was unstoppable.
In terms of the flow of the game and the personalities, we were talking to Coach Mullen about Kirby Smart. You know Kirby's, the if not when, if not now when question almost seems cruel for a guy playing for his 2nd national championship.
It's amazing that the only thing that he hasn't accomplished at the University of Georgia is beating Nick Saban. Okay, yeah. Now I was talking to Champ Bailey for a big feature that I did on Kirby.
Right.
Went back to Bainbridge with Damian Esparza, who's a phenomenal producer. A swimmer, yeah, who knew? Kirby Smart was a competitive swimmer. But Champ Bailey said in that piece, and I found it so telling because he's one of the greatest dogs of all time, like the longer this goes, the louder it's going to get,
right,
because his excellence as a football coach and excellence as a program that he's built, they got to win one.
Yeah.
And break this 4-decade streak. I mean, that's my whole life. It's my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, to me it doesn't seem that long. I was telling somebody I was in my 20s. I mean, show you how long ago it's been. Were you even born?
I was. Yeah, I was 4 years old.
Do you remember anything about it?
I don't. I mean, of course I've seen Herschel Walker running over Bill Bates and all that,
right,
but I don't remember a thing about it, no.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.